Don't always do what I should. I'd be better if I thought I could. I'm a sucker for adrenaline, every villain is. Everybody trying to change my ways, but I live just to see you break. I'm a sucker for adrenaline, every villain is. You take the high road, I'll take the low. Everyone lies cause everyone knows. Feels good to be, feels good to be, feels good to be a little bit bad. Feels good to be, feels good to be, feels good to be a little bit bad. Oh, a little bit bad.
Hey everybody, welcome to Stray Topics. It's me and Abe tonight. We have no millennial. How you doing, Abe?
I'm doing okay. I think it'll be better without the millennial, actually.
I think it'll be a better show, no millennial.
No, I mean, you almost have to have some kind of millennial presence because, you got to have that opinion somewhere.
True. That is true. So,
our friend Eddie is busy tonight, so he couldn't be with us, but we're going to do this thing and try to do it without him. See what we can do.
That's right. And we're testing a new platform called Melon, so it may be horrible. We were using a different platform for a while, and we went to this new platform. So if it don't work right, maybe we'll figure it out sometime between now and the end of the show.
Yeah, we'll either be melon or smelling.
Yeah, we may be both.
Maybe both.
All right. Well, we are going to talk tonight. Well, this is going to be a little bit raw. Normally, we're kind of cool, laid back. We're kind of, we don't get too controversial. We do that for a lot of reasons. We don't want to really make anybody mad. We just like to stay in the middle of the road. But we understand that if we want to really make this show what it needs to be, then sometimes you have to get a little bit controversial. And so tonight, without the millennial, because he likes to stay non-controversial, we're going to get a little controversial, and we're going to talk about COVID. It's one of the biggest topics all across the world. Everybody's got an opinion. I will say it like I heard it long ago. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, and some is bigger than the others, and some smell worse than the others. So we're going to talk about COVID. We're going to give our opinion of what we think about it. And again, these are our opinions. We have the right to our opinion like everybody else does. This is our platform to put our opinion out. And so you don't have to agree with our opinion. That is fine. If you don't, most of you probably won't.
And don't hate on us,
But that's okay. We can still coexist and get along. I'm not hating on anybody because they may not agree with my opinion, and I don't hate on them because I don't agree with theirs. But it's just the way the world is nowadays. What do you think, Abe?
Yep, I agree. I mean, not everybody's going to understand, and some people are totally going to disagree. But, I guess I have to tell people how I'm seeing it because, it's real. It's a reality for us. We see it on a daily basis. And it's, it's nothing to play around with, folks. I mean, it's dangerous for everyone.
Yeah, we do see this on a daily basis. It is a reality to us, probably more of a reality than some. I will say that I have, with my experience with it, I have seen it firsthand. I have actually been in places where there are people that are on ventilators, and I have seen it. And when you look at it on the TV, like when I look at the news, and I look at it on the TV and I hear about it on the nightly news, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But it's a total another thing when you actually are there and you can see with your own eyes, not through a television camera, not through a screen, but you can see with your own eyes somebody laying in a bed with a ventilator stuck in them.
Yeah.
That is a whole nother ball of wax. I'll never forget the time that I saw that, the first time I witnessed that. I got to be honest with you, I was shell shocked. You know, they talk about these guys in the military going to war or going to these places, and then they come back with PTSD. And a lot of people may not believe that, but and I got to be honest with you, there was a time that I didn't really think. I would just kind of brush it off and think, oh, it's just a cop thing. It's just a bull crap thing. But after seeing what I saw with my own eyes, I was shell shocked. And so, yes, PTSD is certainly real. I feel for those poor guys that come back from military, from war, man, and they've seen things, man, that we can't even imagine. And that messes with you. It will mess with you. I remember I was trying to work on something and I couldn't focus on what I was doing because there were so many people.
The reality of it.
Yeah. I could not focus. And like I say, you know, if you just hear about it on the nightly news and you just kind of,
When you hear it on the news, it's just it's a statistic. You don't really. I mean, sometimes they'll do some reporting and they'll go into these rooms and talk to people and show it to you, I guess. But till you see it really with your own eyes, you don't. You still, even then, you don't know it's real, but you don't really realize how real.
yeah, it messes with you when you see it with your own eyes. When you actually can tell, I mean, when you, I'll just never forget that. You know, they say that there's times in your life that you will run up on things that you'll never forget. You know, some people were alive when Elvis got killed. They'll never forget where they were. Some people were alive when Kennedy got killed, and they'll never forget where they were when that happened.
Yep.
You know, when the space shuttle blew up, when the Twin Towers fell, those places it messes with you. You don't forget those things. You kind of remember where you were, what you were doing that day, the whole 9 yards. This thing that I saw with my own eyes with these COVID patients with ventilators in them in these rooms and nurses dressed out in their PPE equipment, and one in a room, one outside the room, talking across a glass wall while one charts, one's working on the patient. You know, that really will mess with you. And that messed with me, and I will never, ever forget that. And I got to be honest, before I had seen that, COVID to me was, I kind of felt like it was new, was something, but I really wasn't concerned about it. I felt like, well, that's just something that's going to get somebody who has some underlying conditions or some elderly person.
Yeah.
And that's totally wrong. It is real. Like it or not, it's a very real thing. And so I remember that. And I will never, ever forget that.
You know, hats off to nurses. I swear. I mean, they deserve every prayer that we can give them. I mean, they are exhausted. They are working their butts off to try to take care of everybody. You know, it's just, you see it in their eyes, and it's so demoralizing to see, that, oh my God, here we go again, and they just been through total crap, and it really gives you a new perspective for nurses. I mean, and doctors, they do it and don't think twice about it.
Yeah, we see those every day too. You see these doctors and nurses, and they come in every day and they do this, and you can see that how tired they are. And imagine, some people may have a job like that, where you go in like a factory job. You go in, you punch the clock, you get on your line, and you work like a fighting fire all day long. until lunchtime. You take your lunch break, and then you come back and you work like fighting fire again until time to go home. And those jobs are hard jobs. Factory workers working on a line like that, production, man, that's tough. That's a tough gig.
Yeah.
Nurses are doing the same thing, but instead of working on a line where they just do one thing over and over again for 8 hours, they're working on 10 patients.
Yeah. 12 hours and more.
12-hour shifts.
Because
And they get a little lunch break, but it ain't much, and they can't even enjoy it.
no.
I really feel for nurses. I feel for doctors. I feel for any hospital staff right now. It doesn't really matter. And I'm talking administrators, any of them, because it's a total train wreck. It is hard. It is a hard job. And my hat is off to all of them, nurses, phlebotomists, you name it, whatever works in a hospital right now. My hat's off to you, because that is one tough gig, especially with this COVID thing going on. I want to take a break and say hi to my daughter. Hi, Michaela.
Hey, Michaela.
Yeah.
Glad you could join us.
Yeah, you could join us. So that's my experience with it so far. Now, have I had any family members with it? Not that I know of. I may have, but I don't know if I have. But I do know I have had some friends who have had family who have gotten it, and some of them have passed away. Some of them have gotten through it, but I have had a few that I know who have lost loved ones because of this.
Yeah, I mean, I've had family members that's had it, and it's rough. I mean, it's nothing to play with. It's scary, and even when you think you've been exposed, and there's been several times, where I felt like, oh my gosh, am I going to get it? I've been exposed. Oh my gosh, it messes with you. It really does. And just psychologically, it wears on you. And, these nurses, they're working 12, 14 hours, and, phlebotomists, all of them, they're working all these hours, extra shifts, because there's not extra people, and it's overwhelming. And so they're having to, beg, borrow, steal to try to, make ends meet, because, that's all they got. That's all they can do. And, I just really feel for them. That's why I say, this, whether you believe in COVID or you don't believe in COVID or you don't believe it's that bad, these people have it rough. And I kind of compare them a little bit to a person that's went to war, because it's similar. They're seeing death, and it messes with them. I mean, it just truly. I mean, you see it on TikTok and stuff. You watch some of the videos, and there's some nurses and things like that on the videos that really talk about their day, and they're doing it to decompress, because they have to say something to somebody. And it's just so sad. I mean, it really is.
Yeah. I posted on Facebook a while back a poem that was to nurses. And yeah, and I've got it here, but I'm not going to read it. But nevertheless, I really feel for nurses, doctors, anybody in the hospital, doesn't matter, administrators, I don't care, even custodians, man, even janitors. Listen, they are hauling trash out of the hospitals as fast as they can haul them out.
Yeah.
Because of the PPE and all that. I really feel for anybody that works in a hospital setting now.
Yeah.
I know everybody else's job is important, and I know everybody's working hard in it, and their job's really no more than anybody else's. But right now, with this COVID situation, their job is amped up times 10. It was hard to begin with, and now it's just 10 times harder, 100 times harder.
And that's the thing about this variant, it's so contagious. I mean, I read just earlier today that there was an unvaccinated teacher, whether she was vaccinated or unvaccinated, even if they got it. But she exposed 22 kids and 4 parents, just one person. I mean, that's extremely, contagious, and it doesn't take long. You don't have to be in their presence very long, unprotected. And, it's just scary, really is, guys. Hey, Jamie, nice to have you with us.
Hey, Jamie, how's
Lisa.
everything? How's everything where where I used to be. I'm not going to say any names. But I can't mention that, but I hope everything's going good. I plan to come see you guys in sometime, maybe next week. I don't know. All right. We got also Lisa Bradley. I think this is the millennial's mother. Is this right, Abe?
It is. Mm-hmm.
Hello, Lisa. We are missing your son. He wouldn't do it tonight with us. He was too busy.
It's predisposed.
But
And
we're
then
glad
that,
you're here.
that brings us to, ways to prevent the spread. It's weird. I went to Walmart earlier today and I was really kind of surprised how many people were wearing masks. And, this is at a Walmart that in particular, I haven't seen that a whole lot, but I'm starting to see more and more and more people starting to wear these masks because they're starting to figure it out. This is very contagious. It's very real. You got to protect yourself. I mean, I don't want to see anybody with it. I don't want even my worst enemy. I would not wish this stuff on. I don't want to see anybody die from it. And, we have to do what we got to do to try to protect ourselves, the best we can. And I get, you can't just, stop living because you can't. You have to keep going on every day. But I'm telling you, folks, these masks do help. They do. I mean, why else would doctors and nurses wear them in the hospitals? And I mean, we wouldn't just wear them for no reason. I mean, this stuff, it obviously, does it totally prevent it? No. I mean, nothing's 100%. Even the vaccines, they're not 100% either. But it's better than nothing.
Yeah. I'm going to say it and get on record right now and say I'm pro-mask. A lot of people are probably going to say, well, that's because your wife makes them and sells them. Well, no, not really. I have to wear
you're making
one.
profit from this.
Yeah, I'm making a profit off of it. Yeah, I'm
where your wife is.
No, I have to wear these. I have to wear one of these every day. Where I work, I'm required to wear one. And I got to be honest with you. I don't like wearing them sometimes, especially when you got to wear those N95. Those N95 masks will smother you.
Feel like you're smothering.
You feel like you got COVID with one of them because you
think those nurses wear them.
24 hours. They wear them 12-hour shifts. They have to wear those N95s. Man, I wear them just to go up and do what I got to do and come back. And when I get back, I'm just like, oh. But yeah, they wear them all the time. And I want to share this on the screen right now, because believe it or not, I mean, this is what mask will do. Now, yes, it's not going to prevent everything. It's not going to, prevent you from getting it, actually. I mean, because you still can. Mm-hmm. But as you can see here, this person sneezing with all these particles and different size particles, if you sneeze into a mask, it's just common sense to know that mask is going to prevent some of those particles from getting through to you. Right. Whereas this person over here that's not masked, all these particles, she's going to get every one of them. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're 6 foot away from each other, maybe you won't get any of them and you can stay unmasked. But let's face it, people don't get 6 feet away from each other. They're all together, huddled up, and running around like there's nothing ever happened. And so, I mean,
I'm
pro-mask.
I'm pro-mask too. And, we visited Disney World about a month or so ago. Actually a little more than a month ago, almost 2 months ago, right before the Delta variant really started taking hold. It was kind of a little bit of a lull. And, we still, even though we didn't have to wear them out in the park, which was, nice. I mean, because we haven't done that in a long time, but we have, we did wear them, and I still felt safer, honest, with them on, even in 90-something degree weather.
Well, Jamie, our thoughts are with you guys.
Oh, yeah,
that's tough, and so we hope and pray everything works out for that person.
Absolutely.
But yes, masks, they are not, nothing's 100%, nothing, no. But something's better than nothing. And so I wear a mask. I wear it when I go into stores. Now, do I wear it every time I go into a store? Sometimes I forget. I got to be honest, I'm human.
Shame on
Sometimes
you.
I just get out of the car and I'm like, oh, I forgot.
Yeah, shame on
But I
you.
try to remember. I try to wear one wherever I go. I try to wear one especially if I'm at Walmart or if I'm anywhere there's a group of people that gather. I wear one into a restaurant. And let me tell you the story about that. I wore one Friday. Me and my wife, she picked me up and we went to Freddy's to eat. Freddy's down on the west side of town. And I had my mask on and I walk in there and there was 4 guys sitting at a table. There were 4 utility workers.
Mm-hmm.
And they looked at me like I had 12 heads.
Mm-hmm. I'm
because
sure
I was wearing a mask. None of them had masks on, but I didn't say anything to them. I mean, let's face it. Everybody has a right to do what they want to do. I can't make you do, and I'm not going to even try to make you do one thing or the other because it's not my job. My job is to do what I feel is right for me. But and remind me, Abe, to come back to that in a minute. What's right for me? Because I've got another point for that.
Uh-huh.
But nevertheless, they looked at me like I had 12 heads, and I could just feel that they were looking at me like, look at that dumbass wearing the mask. That's one of those, Biden supporters or some shit. And that aggravates the life out of me. When did public health become political?
Yeah, I know.
I don't like none of the presidents we've ever had. None of them.
You're equally biased.
I equally hate them all. But this isn't about them. This is about me getting COVID and dying. I don't care about neither one of them idiots.
No, because
I just don't want COVID. And I'm going to do what I got to do for me to protect me from getting COVID. But I could feel those guys, look at that dummy over there. And so, but I wore it anyway, went sat down, took it off to eat, put it back on, got in the car, took it off when I got in the car, got back to the work and put it back on. So
I actually forgot, my wife being a teacher and all, teachers are also ones that are in the war zones. They're not wearing all the PPE that nurses wear, and they're still having to deal with exposure. And, I'm sorry, but not having a mask mandate in these schools is, it's scary to be a teacher and know that you can't. All you can do is wear a mask yourself and try to protect yourself. But, it's just common sense. God gave us common sense, as they say. And I do believe, whether you believe in the vaccines or you don't believe in the vaccines, you've had to take them as a child. Everybody has, unless you just totally haven't had any vaccine. These things work. I mean, are they 100%? No, nothing is. Like I said, nothing's going to totally prevent you from getting it. But if you get it, maybe your chances are a lot better than without it. I mean, because that's the whole thing with this COVID thing. We don't know. It affects healthy people. It affects sick people. It affects everybody differently. And you don't know if you're going to be that one person that it's going to affect badly.
Yeah. We haven't even gotten really to the vaccine yet. We're still on the mask thing. But again, these are just our opinions. We're not trying to force them on anybody. This is just a platform for us to talk. And this is our platform. You don't have to watch us. You can hit the X button. I mean, that's just the way it is. We can do. It ain't like there's a ton of them watching. Even I think we got 5 people looking at us right now. And hey to the 5 people, we appreciate you watching. We're not trying to sway your opinions. You guys do what you feel like you need to do. But we're just giving everybody, just like we see every day. Every day I see somebody's opinion, and it's because of these things right here. We see everybody's opinion every day because of Facebook. I was telling Abe before the show, I had a thought this morning, and I'm going to share it with you guys now. You remember when you were young, and you remember when you were like summertime. Well, I know it's been a long time for me. I barely can remember back in those days. But when you were young, you had a friend that would come over and, in the summertime, sometimes you'd have a friend that would come over and stay with you for 3 or 4 or 5 days, something
Right.
like that. And for the first 2 or 3 days, man, you all had the greatest time ever. It was so much fun. You had fun. Everybody was having a good time. But after about 3 days, the 4th day, you start getting tired of one another. And because little Jimmy over here wants to do something that you don't really want to do, and you want to do something that little Jimmy don't want to do. And so y'all just kind of fuss at each other and kind of moan, and you kind of get tired of one another.
Yeah.
And so eventually you just want little Jimmy to go home. and so, your mama usually picks up, calls little Jimmy's mom and say, hey, I'm gonna have to bring Jimmy home. They're not getting along or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, I remember that from back in the day. The key to that is little Jimmy went home.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, little Jimmy never goes home because little Jimmy's always on this phone.
Right.
And every time I pick this phone up, I can see what little Jimmy's thinking. Because little Jimmy's going to put on this thing every day, what little Jimmy thinks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to look at it. I'm going to read it.
You're subjected to it.
Now, do I have to do that? No, I could delete Facebook and throw this phone in the lake.
Delete
Sometimes I'd really like to do that. I may do that yet. But the point being is people are subjected to each other's opinions daily, on a daily basis, every day. We can never let little Jimmy go home. We always see little Jimmy's opinion. And back when we were growing up, everybody still had the same opinions, man. Everybody's always had their beliefs and their opinions, and that's cool. That's cool. But we didn't have to listen to them every day.
Yep.
And now we still don't have to listen to them, but we do.
Yeah.
How many times do we pick this thing up when we look at Facebook? I'm telling you, Facebook can be a great thing and it can be a bad thing. And I think it's a bad thing more than it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I share some stuff out there every now and then, and I put my opinions out there too before. And I've had people get on me about it. I had one guy call me a child.
You kind of are.
And hey, he's right. I shouldn't have went off like I did.
Yeah.
It does no good.
Yeah.
So to be honest with you, he was probably right.
Well,
but nevertheless, everybody's opinion, we see it every day. Go Abe.
I mean, when in America have we become so hateful to one another about a simple piece of cloth? I mean, we're all sitting here saying we're Christians and we're going to church every day and we're doing, God's work and some people are. Don't get me wrong. Some people are. But I have seen more Christians over this pandemic act atrociously. And I'm thinking, but you're a Christian. You shouldn't be acting that way. You should be showing love and respect and, those kinds of things, and I'm just not seeing it like I used to. When things got tough in America, we would pull together. We would really, come together as one big family and we would handle whatever had to be handled. But now it's like we got all this separation and subgroups, and it's just, come on, guys. Can we not just get back to being America again? I mean, back to being the United States of America, not red states, blue states. It don't matter.
Yeah,
we're all Americans.
Yeah, when it comes to this COVID thing, I still contend it's not political anymore.
No,
it's a public health problem.
Yeah.
And neither one of the president or the ex-president, neither one of them has anything to do with this public health issue that we have. It's here. It is here. It's just like this lens cap. Public health issue is here. Now, what are we going to do with it?
Yeah.
And I think that's what the problem is. Everybody's split. This person thinks everybody needs to do it this way. This person thinks everybody needs to do it this way, and nobody's going to agree. And they're never going to. It seems like we're turning into like the Middle East or something, where those people over there have never gotten along. Right. And it seems like that's where we are now as a country. We're just nobody wants to get along anymore.
I mean, there's no love for each other anymore. Used to you do things because you wanted to protect somebody else. You don't want them to get especially if you got it and you went through all that. You do not want somebody else to have it.
No,
and you'll do whatever it takes to protect that other person. And that's That's the whole thing. We're not even trying to protect each other. It's like, oh well, whatever happens, happens. Look, I'm the same way. I hate it that businesses are not busy, that the product's not there, and that you go to buy something and they just don't have it. I mean, I get it. I'm frustrated with that too. But that's unfortunately that's the life we're living right now. And it's an inconvenience, yes, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, you can do without things for a while, obviously.
Yeah, there's shortages, going to be shortages, and there's going to be problems, and I'm afraid that as much as people want it to be over, and I want it to be over too. We all do. Even it doesn't matter which side of the fence you're on with masks or vaccines. We all want this to be over.
Oh yeah, everybody does.
Um,
I want to go
but
back to normal just like anybody else.
yeah, but let's just be honest. I don't think it's happening anytime soon. That's just my opinion. Again, it don't have to be yours, but I don't think it's going to be over anytime soon. I think there's other variants on the in the future that's coming, and I don't know. I don't have the answers. If I did, I could solve this whole thing. The only thing that we're here to do is to put our spin on it, just like everybody else does. And if nobody wants to listen to us, that's fine. We're not trying to sway anybody's opinion. It's just the way we see it.
I mean,
So,
we've lived it, we've experienced it, and
yeah, we
it's
see it every day.
yeah,
Every day.
it's not, folks. I'm sorry, but the vaccine works. I mean, I see dumb comments from my family members, every day. That's like, it's just making people sicker, and I'm like, no, it's not. That's wrong. Quit saying that because
The-
it's wrong.
yeah, we can tell you.
Now, are there people that's vaccinated getting sick? Yes,
Yeah.
there are breakthrough infections, and they are happening. But for the most part, it does work.
Again, it's not 100%, just like anything else, just like the mask is not 100%. But the data, and I'm not going to talk about the national data. Let's just talk about the data from that we see on a daily.
Yeah.
They post it
Yeah.
out on to the world. You can go and find it yourself. And the data shows they count they count how many sick, who's got what, and the numbers, they have to keep numbers.
Right.
And those numbers, you don't have to be too smart to know, to be able to read that thing and see that the numbers show the vaccine's working. You may not like that. You may not. You may think that we're dumb, but the numbers show that it's working.
I mean, are
And
you afraid to take it? I get it. I
yeah,
mean, I understand. I
I
was
get it.
apprehensive about it too at first. But it's like my wife always says, yeah, down the road something may happen. I don't know, but I want to make it down the road first.
Yeah, and you're not going to make. Your odds of getting down the road is a lot slimmer without it.
Yeah.
Than it is with it.
Yep. And talking about shortages, because I was at Walmart earlier today. I was going to get my wife some tea and they didn't have any. I mean, the shelf was like empty. And I'm starting to see that with, not everything, but
Toilet
just
paper.
no, actually, I've not seen it with that, which is kind of funny. I saw a TikTok video where a dude was, I guess he worked at Sam's or somewhere like that. And he was like, does Sam's know something I don't? And he showed this warehouse and it was all toilet paper stacked up. I mean, it was like, I can't even tell you how much toilet paper it was, but no, it's like different other weird items, like, I went to get Zoe some Sunny Delight. There was no Sunny Delight. Everybody's loving Sunny Delight apparently right now. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just weird. I mean, it's like random things, weird. I mean, things you wouldn't even think you would run out of, But I am starting to see it a little bit in the store, so we have to be careful and don't buy too much. Buy just what you need.
Yeah, don't stockpile it, people. It ain't
No.
the end of the world.
Hell, I didn't get to stockpile toilet paper period during the whole cotton picking thing. I mean, I was pretty sparingly with those sheets of toilet paper, because you run out and then you got to resort to water or rags or something.
I mean, but masks and vaccines are working. Masks, think of it like this. If I, and this is going to be a little graphic, sorry for you folks, but I'm just going to do it. Don't care. It's my show. If I was to pull it out and try to take a piss on you, if I don't have a piece of cloth in between me and you, I'm going to get more pee on you than I would if I had my pants in between us. That's just the way it runs. And so
Simple,
wear the mask.
simple physics. I mean,
it protects you. It does protect you. It does not protect you 100%, but it does protect you a little bit. And if I'm wearing one and Abe's wearing one, and we're within 6 feet of one another, then there's less particles floating around in the air between us.
Yeah.
Now, in reality, the N95 is really the only mask that works 100. Really, I guess that one's pretty much 100%.
And
close to it, 90 something. No wonder you can't.
I think it's why it's called N95, but I don't know.
N95.
Because I have seen N100s, which are like
95%. But and the cloth masks are not. But anything's better than nothing.
Some kind of barrier.
Yeah, some kind of barrier to keep your.
It's like anything. You
drops from flying into everybody's face.
Yeah. I mean, you people sneeze. I mean, and I get it. We've had the flu and this kind of stuff going on too, and people are like, well, people die from the flu. I said, yes, people do die from the flu, and that's true. A lot of people every year die from the flu, but it's not like this corona, man. It is just, it's devastating. It really is.
And like I said,
Kids are starting to get it, and they're starting to get sick now.
Yes.
Are all of them getting real sick? No. And thank God, the majority of kids just get a little bit sick and they can get over it and they go back to school. But there are kids that are hospitalized, and there are kids that are on ventilators.
True.
I mean, it's sad, but and that is happening. But we just gotta wear a mask. It's a simple thing. It's a simple gesture, and protect one another. Not just yourself, but protect somebody else. Because that's the thing. These kids, they're getting infected in the classroom from other kids. Then they're taking it home and they're giving it to their parents and maybe their grandparents, and their grandparents, may die from it. I mean, protect one another, love one another enough to wear one.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. So I'm pro mask. And so now let's talk about the vaccine just a minute. I know everybody's scared to take that. Because they don't feel like it's been tested long enough. And I can understand that. I do. I understand where you're coming from. But again, like Rhonda had said, I want to be able to get down the road, down there. And COVID's here now. Now, the vaccine in 10 years, who knows what it'll do? May make me grow a tail. And I kind of hope it does, because I'd look real cool with a tail. I'm just joking.
You ain't right.
But that could be 10 years from now.
And you may be dead before that even happens.
Dead before it would even do anything to me.
I hope not.
But I do know this. COVID, I've seen people my age get it. I've seen some walk out, and I've seen some pushed out.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to take the chance. And if it's going to provide any help whatsoever to me, then I'm for it. And the data don't lie. I'm not even talking about the national data, because I know what everybody will say. Well, they're just making that up. Maybe. I don't know. But I can tell you the local data that I can see with my own eyes and count. It's real. And it's evident, very evident, that the vaccine's working. So,
yeah,
again, that's just our opinion. Not yours, maybe not yours. And if it's not, fabulous. We can still coexist. I ain't mad at nobody. I'm just
I'm not mad at anybody for not taking it. I'm scared. I'm
scared for them.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the thing. I don't want to see anybody get it. And if you can do anything to prevent yourself from getting it, then you should, in my opinion. And that's the thing. It's not that I'm pushing you to get vaccinated or wear a mask. I'm just hoping, praying, that you don't get COVID.
Yeah.
Because I have seen it with my eyes, like I told y'all at the first of the show, and it is
My wife.
you until you see it with your own eyes, man. You just really can't know.
Yeah. Sorry about
So,
the little giggle, but my wife posted a little message
Eeyore
there.
has a tail. Yes, he does.
Yes, he
That's true.
does. Troy,
Yes, they
we're
call me Eeyore, and so I
yeah.
guess I should grow a tail.
He's
But
always a
matter of
pessimist.
fact, let me look, Rhonda.
Oh my Lord, he's got an actual puppet there now.
It is Eeyore.
I want to see your suit.
I should have wore that tonight.
You should have worn
That ought to have been cool.
Rhonda wanted to get me a Pooh Bear one. I'm like, oh,
You
my
need one,
Lord.
really bad.
We'd have to get Eddie a Tigger one, so you know.
Yeah. I should have wore the Eeyore. I have a suit, an Eeyore suit. Yeah, I should have wore it, but instead I wore this "Dogs Because People Suck" shirt, which is true too.
Yeah, that's true. But folks, we care about you. We care about our listeners. You know, we don't want to see anybody come down with this crap.
Hey, there you go, Dawson.
Yeah.
Hey, he's cool.
Hey, good grief.
Yeah, I think that's his name. I ain't real sure.
Yeah, I think it
He's
is.
cool.
But you know,
yeah, man,
I don't want to see
ahead.
anybody come down with this crap.
Yeah,
I love you. I care about you. You know, we can coexist. If you're unvaccinated, you're unvaccinated. If you truly don't want to take the vaccine, obviously that is your absolute choice, and I'm not going to force you to.
you can't.
And I can't. But all I can tell you is what I'm seeing, and I pray that you don't get it.
And I guess that's where we're coming from. This show is not an opinion, really. It's just basically to let people know, because we see it firsthand. It's almost like seeing somebody on the front line. You know, like when they go to war a lot of times, you know, you really don't know what it's like unless you're on the front line and you're seeing it. To see it from the news, you know, from the comfort of your comfy recliner, it's not as earth-shaking as it is if you're out there in the ditch and they're shooting at you.
Right.
You know, then it becomes real. This is just us wanting to give you, the viewers, an insight to what we see and what we see on a daily basis, that we see that is real, really real. Sometimes so real that it scares you.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, folks, we don't want to see anybody in our hospital with this crap, you know, and that's the problem. There's so many people in our hospital. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming all the hospitals. They just don't have the staff to take care of that many people that are that sick. Yeah. And, you know, you don't want to be there anyway, regardless, but do what you can. I mean, I know if you don't want the vaccine, fine. Do the simple thing of wearing a mask, because that cuts down on the transmission. That will slow this virus down to where we can handle the inflow of what we're seeing in hospitals.
That is true.
But I'd rather see you get vaccinated too. But
yeah, we have seen unbelievable things, and I'm not saying that to scare you. Well, maybe I am. It's just the truth. I'm not lying. I wouldn't lie to you for it. I don't have a political agenda. I don't have an agenda whatsoever. I'm not trying to sway you to believe one way or the other. I'm just giving you the facts as I've seen with my eyes, and Abe as he's seen with his. You know, it's just different. You just can't. You really can't understand till you've seen it firsthand. And it's a different show sitting in there on the couch watching it on the TV.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, it's bad, but it ain't near as bad as when you're standing in the unit.
Looking at people. Yeah. I get it.
So, and so now let's cover this. Let's talk about the effects of school and sports. It's going to affect schools again. I know people don't like it because they're doing virtual, and I get it. Virtual is not the same as in class. It can't be.
No.
I didn't like it when I went to school and had to take those online classes. I thought they were harder, actually, than going to class. Dawson probably can attest.
It's harder on parents, too, because they're having to help their kids a little more than they normally would. And
true,
I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to do it with my kid.
Yeah,
you know?
and plus, let's also say it like this. A lot of parents look to the school as a place for their kids to go through the daytime so that they can work and
Yeah.
do their job and go do their job. And with this virtual thing, a lot of parents are going to have to stay home. They're
Yeah.
going to have to find ways of keeping places for kids to stay, and it's going to cost them money. So I get why parents would want school to happen. And believe me, though, when I say this, the teachers want school to happen as well. They
Yeah.
don't want to do the virtual thing either, because my wife's a teacher and she'll tell you it was harder doing the virtual stuff for her than it was getting up and going to class every
Yeah,
day.
they got so much more prep to do, and it's really a lot more. I mean, it's just a lot of prep time to do a virtual class.
And so schools are going to be affected by it again. I think there was a nurse the other day told me that, I asked her, I said, do you see a lot coming in, and she said, yes. She said, you got to almost basically think everybody that comes here has it. And it's going, and she said one thing that really I thought was probably true. She said, we're just seeing the front side of it. Wintertime's coming, and it'll probably get worse as wintertime comes. And it's definitely going to get worse if we don't start taking some precautions. And if and let's just call it what it is. If we don't take a few precautions along the way, this thing's never going to. The curve is going up. It's never going to go down if we don't start doing things to make it go down. Yeah. It's not going to go down by itself. It's not just going to vanish.
Right.
You're not going to wake up one day and, there's no COVID anymore. Yeah. It just went away. Nope.
I wish, but no.
I do too. But we got to help it to go away. And the only way we do that is by doing the things we should be doing to make it go that way.
Mitigation helps. We want to keep our kids in school. I'm sorry, wear the masks. It helps, and our kids will be able to stay in school. I mean, the data don't lie. I mean, and it is going to get worse. And these sports, they've already canceled football games.
Everybody wants sports back. Listen, I'm a hockey fan. Everybody knows I'm a Nashville Predators hockey fan. I love the Predators as much as I love cake. And
that's a lot.
As much as I love Cookout. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Now there you go.
As much as I love Duncan. All right. So I love to watch them play. And last year they played, but they played in front of nobody, and games were just not the same. Yeah. The crowd makes a big difference in a game. And it was sad watching sports last year with stands with nobody in it. They had fake people in the stands. They put cutout cardboard things. And somebody took some stuffed animals one time. I saw a baseball game. It's like in Japan or something. They had back behind the home plate was just a bunch of stuffed animals.
Pikachu.
Yeah, Pikachu was actually up there. So I just don't. It was not the same. The fans going to the game. Eating a hot dog at the game.
Yeah.
Watching the game, screaming,
it's
jumping.
Funny how simple pleasures like that you miss so much when you don't have them, or you can't do them.
They went away, and I want it back. I want to go. I've got family that live in Nashville, and now I've got a place to stay when I can go. I can go out there and go see the game actually, and have somewhere to stay without it costing $9,000 for a weekend. And anyway, I won't be able to do that if we don't do things to make this COVID kind of back off a little bit.
Yeah.
And the only way we do that is by doing some of these things that we should be doing, that we should be doing. And that brings us to this last, probably the sorest part of this thing, is the politics of it. Again, I'm going to say this. I love everybody, my family. I know I got family out there that wave the flag, and they waving the flag hard. And they're anti-mask, they're anti-vax, and that's okay. But when did public health become political?
Yeah.
When did COVID? Now, it may have been invented for a political reason. I don't know, and I'm not even going to get into that. But it does not matter what it was invented for, or why, who invented it, or who unleashed it on the earth. It's here.
Mm-hmm.
So because it's here, when did it become political? Trump and Biden have nothing to do with this now. It's a public health threat.
Yep.
Biden ain't going to do nothing to protect me or you from getting it because he can't.
No.
Neither's Trump.
No.
Neither is Ron DeSantis or any of these dudes. They're not able to make this thing go away.
Only you can do that.
So
Only
when
you
did it
making the
become
right
political?
choices can do that.
Well, Abe, when did it become political?
I don't know, man. I mean, I've never seen a country so more divided, and it's sad, really. It makes
isn't it
me want to
sad?
just do away with the whole political system, you know?
Yeah. Isn't it sad that politics is that way? Now, it may have been that way all along. I remember as I
It
was
has,
growing
I
up,
think,
it's been that way. The Republicans and the Democrats never have been
yeah,
able to get along,
it
and I
has.
get that.
But
this
never has it done anything about public health.
No. And this is a public health issue. This is not a political issue. It's not got anything to do with Trump. It ain't got anything to do with Biden.
Yeah.
It ain't got anything to do with either one of those idiots.
Yeah.
And I did say idiots, both of them.
Yep.
So fly your flags, wave your flags. Hey, hell no, I ain't taking no shot. I ain't going to wear no mask. I ain't going to do it. Fabulous. But don't be on here fussing when you can't go to the ball game or when they shut the schools down.
Yeah.
Because we got to do our part.
Yep.
And again, I love y'all. I ain't mad at any of y'all. And if you want to believe that way, it's your right. I'm not going to tell you not to. But in the same respect, I have my right to believe the way I believe. And this is the way I believe. And I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
And you can disown me. You can take my phone number out of your book.
Dang it, Troy, I'm deleting you right now.
That's fine. You can delete me off Facebook. I don't care. Matter of fact, I probably will delete my Facebook one of these days anyway because I'm just tired of it.
If I wasn't involved with soccer, I would already got rid of it. It's just so vile sometimes.
Only thing I like to do with it is put pictures on there. That's it. Pictures.
That's, honestly, that's what I got Facebook for to begin with, was so I could see all my other family's pictures and see their kids, and because I don't see them in person all the time.
Instead, you see everybody's opinion.
Yeah, and that's getting pretty. I'm about tired of all that too.
We're sharing this on Facebook.
I know. I'm even tired of my own opinion. So there you go.
Yeah. Listen, I love y'all. I ain't mad at none of y'all. I really ain't. And if you want to do. But if you don't want to do, don't. It's okay with me. But I just see the data. I work in a place where I can see the data on a daily basis. I come home every day scared. I come home every day. Every day I see somebody that's got it or on a ventilator, or or I hear about somebody passed away. And yes, people are dying. People die from everything, And some people argue, well, there's no more people dying from this than there are from the cold or whatever.
Well, see, I disagree with that, because I know, sitting where we do, we hear the codes, and never, in 15 years, I might have heard one code a week, maybe. And I'm hearing, sometimes 3 and 4 a day.
Yeah.
I mean,
respiratory staff.
I'm sorry, that statistic I hear, I can tell, so look, folks, I get vaccinated. That's all I'm going to say. Wear the mask, help us slow this thing down. If we don't, then we're not going to have any of the stuff that and we're not going to be able to do any of the stuff that we want to do. We're not going to be able to keep schools open, because it's just going to eventually overtake the schools, and it's going to force them to do something. And we don't need to be there. We don't have to be there.
Yeah.
Get vaccinated, wear a mask.
And if you don't believe what we've got to say, find somebody who's had it and ask them. I don't know if you guys watched the other day, the news. There was a guy on the news that was talking about it, and he was local, and he said his wife had it, and he said that they did not vaccinate, but as soon as he had already got out, and then he was going to get vaccinated. I had a friend that had it, and he said he was going to go get vaccinated.
Yeah.
After they've had it, it's almost like they change that tune a little bit.
Yeah.
So
and it's sad that it takes that.
Yeah, it's sad you got to get to that point before you change your tune.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad. It takes them almost dying,
Yeah.
unfortunately, to see that how real this crap is. And I don't want you to be there. I don't want anybody to be there.
No, it's not a good place to be. So that's our point of view. That's it. I am pro-mask, pro-vaccine. I took the vaccine, and I'll take the booster when it comes, and that's just the way it is, and that's just my opinion. You can like me or not, and if something happens to me, I'm sure everybody will blame it on the vaccine, but that's okay. And it may.
Even if it didn't, they would. If you did
But
have
I
it, they'd
can't
blame
help
on
it. I
you.
don't want COVID. I see it every day.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think there's some things now for there's some things on the other side. I don't like the fact that they're gonna, some places are making you vax. I still think it should be a personal opinion. I think you should be able to research it and do your own research and make your own choice. It is a free country, but I can't control that. But what I can control is what I do for me and my family. And I do not want anybody in my immediate family or in my extended family or in my friends or in any of my acquaintances that I know, or even if I don't know you, I don't want to see you with it.
Yep.
So there's my opinions.
Even if I don't like you, I don't want to see you with it.
Yeah.
So,
I wouldn't wish COVID on my worst enemy. I used to say I wouldn't wish a kidney stone on the devil, but I would. But I wouldn't wish it on nobody else but the devil. I'm telling you, kidney stones are rough. If they made a vaccine for kidney stones, I'd take it. Because I know what that's like. I would take it.
Yeah, folks, just be safe out there. Do what you can do to protect your families. Protect your kids. Love one another. Take care of one another. That's what it's about. That's what America's about.
That's right. I love y'all, and I am not mad at you no matter what. Fly flags or don't, it doesn't matter. You're still family. You're still people to me, and I love y'all. I do not want to see anybody get this. And so with that being said, Abe, is there anything else we need to say tonight before we're coming up on an hour? This thing's been almost an hour.
I think we've said about everything we could say about this subject.
We hadn't had very many views. I think that the most we had 6 in here at one time. Now there's 2. It's probably your wife, and I know mine's not watching, so it's probably your wife and Dawson.
And maybe Dawson, I don't know. That's
and nobody will probably listen to this anyway, so that's okay. But nevertheless, this is just, we wanted to do this one. We wanted to do this one a little bit raw. It's a little bit different than the ones we middle of the road. We travel in the middle of the road a lot of times, but this time we wanted to do something a little bit different.
Yep.
And we felt like it was something we needed to do, and so we did it.
Yep. Well, we appreciate everybody listening that did pop in. Yeah, see, Dawson.
Dawson says I'm still here, so he is one of the 2, and I'm sure Rhonda's the other. So hey, Rhonda, and hey, Dawson, because I venture to say not anybody else's.
Hopefully, folks, our next topic we do will be a little more lighthearted. We plan. We're trying to do these things, but with COVID and everything, it gets difficult at times to do these shows, and we love doing them. I mean, we love having the millennial. We miss him tonight, and we hope he, tuned in at least and listens to us rant. But we miss having him here. We cut up a lot, and we have a lot of fun, and that's what the show really for us was about. We want to do this serious one, but going forward, we're going to try to lighten it up and do some fun topics again.
Yeah, we don't get to do them very often. It seems like it's a long time between these episodes, and we apologize. But it's been so busy lately, especially at work, that we just haven't had the time. And when we get home after a day of what we've told you about, we're usually just too tired to fool with it. We're mentally and physically exhausted. So we'll try to do more. We'll try to get back into the swing of it. But just keep your eye on Facebook and on our YouTube channel. You'll see it if you still want to watch it after this episode.
They will. They like our funniness.
Like I said, we're just keeping it real. It's just something we believe. You don't have to believe like we do. We're not trying to force anything. And I think the world would be a better place if people quit trying to force everybody's opinion on each other. Just voice your opinion. You have that right, and then let it go. If you want to vax and want to wear a mask, then do it and shut up about it. If you don't want to mask and you don't want to vax, then don't and shut up about it.
Right.
Let it go. Quit beating the drum. Quit trying to stir the shit. Let it die. Sorry, I'm being honest.
Yep.
You agree, Abe?
Oh yeah, I agree.
I think if you want to, do. If you don't, don't. But quit beating the damn drum. Let it die. Do what you got to do and shut up and move on. Post on Facebook some pictures of birds. I'd like to see them, and not this kind. A good kind. So anyway, I love everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed the humor that we tried to impart in this. We'll be back sometime again down the road with another edition of the Straight Topics. Until then, I'm Troy. Everybody knows, I'm sure, and you are Abraham. And we are the Straight Topics, and we will see you next time.
Don't always do what I should. I'd be better if I thought I could. I'm a sucker for adrenaline. Every villain is. Everybody trying to change my ways, but I live just to see you break. I'm a sucker for adrenaline. Every villain is. You take the high road, I'll take the low. Everyone lies cause everyone knows. Feels good to be